in the chapter 3, he calls the chapter, first of all, eligibility of the candidate for accepting devotional service. So it's like it's a person who's standing on the brink of the ocean and is considering how to go out and take a swim, right? So this is really the thing. One has to be, have some preliminary qualities, so to speak, for starting up the practice of bhakti yoga at all. Yeah. So in that way, it's said that once you have kind of entered this, you should consider yourself to be rare or lucky even.
I think from what I understand, actually, Krishna is speaking, it is one who has already achieved perfection is starting bhakti yoga.
Yeah, that's another statement. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see if we can get an advisor by reading this. I think so. There is coming a few things up here, which are quoted from the Bhagavatam, where he said that for example, if you chant the whole name, then it means that you already have been doing all the Brahminical duties in the previous life, stuff like that. Yeah, things that indicate that actually once you do this, you actually have come a long way already in your spiritual life.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because I can only compare it with my current life.
Yeah.
But in my experience, seeing actually that these kinds of seemingly exaggerated statements about bhakti, bhakti is actually completely true.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. It said one shouldn't consider them exaggerations. That's one of the things.
No, even though they sound maybe a little extreme, but they're actually entirely on the point.
Yeah, that's true. So, so because otherwise there is the danger of starting to speculate a lot, because it's like if you don't believe the statements of the scripture, then you have to believe something else.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
And then what you're going to believe, really.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the scriptures are saying something, and they're saying it quite, repeatedly, really.
Yeah.
It's not that they just.
Sometimes it also seems to contradict.
Yeah. It seems to contradict.
It's actually our lack of knowledge, I think, when it seems like contradiction.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to see what actually the scripture is actually trying to tell us.
Sometimes I feel like the Bhagavatam, sometimes it's like recommending certain types of activity. Sometimes I feel like the activities where Krishna is involved, it's completely clear that that worship of Krishna is the ultimate practice.
Yeah, it is really the ultimate practice.
But because sometimes these bystanders who are in the Bhagavatam, they're sometimes lamenting a little bit, for material things, and even though they're devotees, but they're sometimes lamenting a little bit material, and I think they always reach some consensus or conclusion.
Yeah, actually, in one sense it's understandable. In another sense, it's also very inconceivable, because you have all these people who have been devotees not just in one life, but they are already established devotees, and still they are materially bewildered and have issues and this.
Yeah.
But of course, if you wouldn't have that, then how could we have a Krishna Lila at all? Like if Maharaj Yudhishthira wouldn't be getting into the gambling match and gambling away, even his own wife, then we wouldn't have the battlefield of Kurukshetra. We wouldn't have, we got the third. Mariana is back. Very good. So the question, Hare Krishna, Mariana. Sorry, I didn't see your message before now. What are we discussing? Yeah, we're discussing the Nectar of Devotion, chapter 3. So now we're actually going to start to read. We didn't actually start to read yet. So thank you for asking. We'll dive right into it. So yes, eligibility of the candidate for accepting devotional service. So Prabhupada writes, on account of his association with Mahatmas or great souls, 100% engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, one may attain a little bit of attraction for Sri Krishna. But at the same time, one may remain very much attached to fruitive activities, material sense enjoyment, and not be prepared to undergo the different types of renunciation. So this is the situation we mostly are in. So we have attraction for the devotional service. We have met some nice devotees, and we feel that they're really nice, and we like to hear more. We like to learn more. We even like to do some service. At the same time, we want to we definitely have some attraction also for what's going on the material field. We really want to see some movie or have some material, like 100% material experience. Yeah, but of course, what's happening with devotees is that some or other they start seeing Krishna in everything. They see even they go see a movie, they will think, oh, Krishna has left a message for me in this movie. So actually, this is proper because that's the way actually to become Krishna conscious. You have to start seeing Krishna everywhere.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
Yeah. So Prabhupada says, such a person, if he has unflinching attraction to Krishna, becomes an eligible candidate for discharging devotional service. So in that way, it's said that we are candidates. What is candidate called? It's called adhikara. We touched upon that previously also. We had like the three types of adhikara. Kanishta adhikari, Madhyama adhikari, adhikari I think it's called that. And then Uttama adhikari. Yeah, so Krishna is also saying a verse about that. He says, my dear Uddhava, only by exceptional fortune does someone become attracted to me. And even if one is not completely detached from fruitive activities, or is not completely attached to devotional service, such service is quickly effective. So you see, he's tolerating that we have, mixed devotion. Yeah, it's called Mishra Bhakti, by the way. Yeah. So there's no shame at all, because I mean, it's just like you have a child and you're going to teach him English. Is it a shame that the child is talking rubbish English? No, because he's learning English, so he has to start talking. Yeah. So in the same way, we may do, I'm sorry for the expression, but we may do, kind of rubbish devotional service, you can say. But it's completely fine, because we are learning about stuff by just playing with it, you can say. And if some fanatical leader will come along and say, hey, stop that, it's offensive and this and that, this is not good actually, because how can anybody learn anything if you're not allowed to play and experiment? It's like the worst kind of teachers are these teachers who come and they don't allow the children to play, right?
Yeah, so will lose all life.
Yeah, they will lose. So it's in the same way, if to be actually teaching Krishna consciousness, one needs to be very soft-hearted. We need to have first of all a big heart and a soft heart to actually feel for the students that they can progress, and it's a long progress. Just like the child is starting in first grade, has to go all the way to 7th grade, and then after that is all in 9th grade. Wait a minute, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, and then you have after that is maybe university. So it's a long way ahead for a lot of study and progress. So in the same way with Bhakti Yoga, it's similar. You start in the first grade, 2nd grade, and then you can further on go, and some they stop. They don't go to university. And if you go to university, then you're diving into the books of the Goswamis, and so like that. So basically, Prabhupada is saying we just we're going to like his last statement in this paragraph here. He says, what is a neophyte? The neophyte or third class devotee is one whose faith is not strong and who at the same time does not recognize the decision of the real scripture. The neophyte's faith can be changed by someone with strong arguments or by an opposite decision. So in that way, often we see that some new person comes and likes Hare Krishna, for example. And always when you're actually having these experiences, when we go out on Harinam, because then comes somebody from another religious group, and they go always to these new Hare Krishnas. Who
So excited.
yeah, and they just want to preach to them and drag them over to the other camp. Sometimes they're successful also. Like Mahabavi told me the story, he had sold the Bhagavad Gita to one person, and then later they went on Harinam, and then the Christian preachers came and they actually got him to start following Christianity instead, that new person. But for us, actually, we don't have any issue. I mean, it's God who is arranging everything. It's Krishna arranging. What's the problem? He decides. It's his jiva. It's God's jivas. He can do whatever he wants with his living entities.
I think the problem is when we start doing sporting, right? Because we're playing and competing a little bit in sporting.
Yeah.
It's like actually fun,
Yeah.
chivalry almost.
Yeah. You can take it in different ways. You can have like a sport. You can have a fight with somebody else, but it shouldn't become too serious.
Good faith,
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of
Funny stories from the Prabhupada era when the devotees were doing, funny. They were so cool, they were just able to do so many things. I keep being impressed.
Yeah, they were, because they had Prabhupada right by their side. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they felt especially protected, and then they could be very bold. But
They were actually really bold.
yeah. But once Prabhupada left, they tried the same thing, and sometimes it didn't work. So in the same way, it said, Arjuna, he could be really an amazing fighter when Krishna was by his side. But after Krishna went, it's like Arjuna is coming home and he's crying, and Yudhishthira is asking, what happened? I was trying to protect the wives of the dead husbands from Dwarka. After the Maushala Lila, all the dynasty of Krishnas was erased from earth. But the wives were left, and then came some dacoits and took the wives. And Arjuna, greatest fighter in history, he couldn't stop the dacoits from taking the wives. So it's like he lost all his power, because Krishna had left. So then after that incident, all the Pandavas, they just decide to pack up, call it a day, and they just go to the north. They take instant, vanaprastha. We said for kshatriyas, it's no question of sannyas. They take vanaprastha, not sannyas. So they just walk to the north without having any social dealings anymore. They just walk straight until they fall. So it's like a heroic. Everything they do is heroic. And you remember the story. Then everybody fell. Draupadi was also going there. And then the last one standing was Yudhishthira. So he was approaching, high up in the Himalayas, the gates of heaven. The angel came but a dog had started following. Yudhishthira. So he said, the angel, there came. Now you're ready to enter the gates of heaven? Yeah, I am, but I'm bringing my dog. And the angel said, it's not even your dog, it was just a stray dog following you. And then the angel started giving a big lecture, if you're attached to dogs, you are the worst, kind of human and this. And try to dissuade, Yudhishthira from his resolve to protect this dog, And then Yudhishthira said, if I cannot save this dog, and get this dog with me to heaven, then I refuse to go to heaven myself. And then this angel, he changed his form and revealed that he was actually, Dharmaraj, the Lord of Dharma. And that's actually the father of Yudhishthira. So he said, very well, Yudhishthira, I was just testing you. And then Dharma, he started giving a whole class about how somebody who doesn't have compassion for another, who is not ready to sacrifice his own ticket to heaven for saving somebody else, then that person can actually never go to heaven. So in that way, this is such a wonderful story, So why did we go on this journey?
We were talking about some are connected to the Vanaprastha, I thought.
Yeah, Vanaprastha. Yeah.
It was Arjuna was sad because he was defeated.
Yeah. So in that way. Yeah, exactly. So, but you see, it's all part of the lila. So sometimes, you cannot really understand devotees. Somebody can think, this devotee, he's going through some material motions. He was not actually, it was just a whole play, just playing, just acting.
This ending for the Pandavas is really glorious.
Yeah, it's very, very glorious. And you see all the devotees, they have emotions. They're seemingly, attached to material things. But actually, you see what they have done. They're actually attached to Krishna, but they have yukta vairagya is everything. So everything they're attached to and crying for, that's actually Krishna stuff. So that's why it's actually not material, although it may seem so for the uneducated eyes.
It's like there's something society.
Yeah.
That is like a triggering event, which is like you're already lamenting inside, but you just need to be triggered, to actually go to the extreme.
Yeah. Exactly. But how was that related? I didn't get the connection.
No, it was like for Arjuna, because Krishna had already left, but he was still following his Kshatriya duty and protecting these wives. But then he lost, because of he didn't have his pal Krishna there.
Yeah. He lost the inspiration.
That event, even though it was, seemingly material, it was like a trigger event to make him remember that I don't even have Krishna. Like, what is the hope in everything? All this.
Yeah, exactly. So he was actually in real ecstasy of separation from Krishna.
Yeah.
But those who are not devotees themselves, they can't really understand this, and they may just reject, that actually these people are not actually, because how can how is it possible? They should just be happy, right? They see Krishna everywhere. Why they cry? Yeah. So, but actually, in the higher level of devotion, they actually don't see Krishna everywhere. It's like a secret, but you see, they actually feel that Krishna is somewhere else, and they want to go where Krishna is.
Just his friend, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that means that this is the Bhagavan realization, that Krishna is actually, he cannot be several places at the same time. Just like us, if you are here in Oslo, and I go to Bergen, you are not in Bergen, right?
Yeah.
Even though I think of you, I speak with you on the phone, you're actually not there. In the same way, for those who have Bhagavan realization, Krishna is only in one place. And when the devotees are going somewhere else, they actually don't see Krishna, and they feel they're separate, and they miss him, on the lower stages, then you do deity worship, and you see Krishna in every atom and this and that, and you feel very peaceful and happy. That's all good. But in the higher stages, there is acute feeling of separation from Krishna.
Yeah.
It really becomes so acute, so that it goes, they even become afflicted by madness, because of missing Krishna so much.
Completely mad.
Yeah. So this is very, very wonderful, It really is. Yeah. So anyway, now we're talking about the beginning of it all, how it began. So Prabhupada says there are these 4 types of devotees. They're described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. They're all called pious. So I don't really remember, he said, one is distressed, one wants money, another one is wise, right? And another one is just inquisitive, curious. Yeah, Marianne, you want to say something?
Sorry, I didn't remember I was not muted.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
But I was a bit confused. I don't know, somehow it's hard to follow.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So we just talking about we're talking about the neophyte devotee and how he's going through. He's an eligible candidate for accepting devotional service. So it was described, that you have devotees in 3 classes. One is the Kanishtadikari, another one is the Madhyamadikari, and the third one is the Uttamadikari. You probably heard about these 3 from before. So
Yes.
so we're just reading what Prabhupada says. He says that the neophyte, he's actually he doesn't have enough scriptural knowledge. His faith is very weak. It's called Kumala Sharada. It's very weak faith because he doesn't have enough knowledge. But he still likes the devotees. He likes Krishna like this. But when somebody comes to argue with him, he cannot be very strong in arguing back. Especially if somebody can come from another party, from another philosophy or religion. And they can actually, even convince him to join them instead. Yeah. So that's why I took a little story about that. It sometimes happens. And then Prabhupada is, yeah.
I don't know, because there is also the devotee who is already thinking that he's part of their religion.
Yeah. What does that mean?
I mean, if some Christian preacher is coming to try and preach to him, he will say, I'm already Christian. I'm already completely on board with what you're preaching. I don't know what else you want to teach me.
You mean he thinks he's a member of every religion on the planet?
Yeah, why not?
Well, usually devotees are not like that. This is more like for impersonalists. It's like Shantarasa or something like that. That every religion, you're part of everything and you're everywhere, and it's like universal consciousness. Yeah. Devotional life is actually it is actually a lot of duality also. it's simultaneous with duality and oneness.
Maybe it smells like that, but I heard also by disciplic succession that all religion is comes from God.
Yeah, it's true. It's true that all religion comes from God, but at the same time, you have Krishna when he comes as he is as Krishna, then he's saying just follow Bhakti Yoga, which is Vaishnavism. So then it kind of narrows down, you know, you could say the scope of practice actually quite a lot. But if you want to be a Paramatmavadi or Brahmavadi, then you can choose for like your menu is much bigger.
But there's I don't want to argue too much back and forth if you want to move on. But there's also this point, I guess, the higher taste, where it's like you have firm faith that there can be nothing that it can actually exchange the love, you know, that is present already here. So it's like you simply accept it like, they're also trying to glorify God, you know, and be servant of God, and you simply reciprocate.
Yeah, you can do, but at the same time, we also have our own personal practice.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's simultaneous. It's simultaneous oneness and difference. One definitely appreciates others and what they're doing. At the same time, you know, we have our own thing. It's like family. You have your own family. A man has his wife and children, and they appreciate all the families and may even visit them. But at the same time, they're going home and they're doing their thing. Yep.
Sorry, I just wanted to point it out because.
Like universal tolerance is very important, but at the same time, one also is pretty selective. Also, at the end of the day. I mean, for example,
It's just the impression I got, you know, from, for instance, Chaitanya. If someone is, say, the lowest of mankind, but still, like somehow or other, just say the name of Krishna once. Chaitanya is already at their feet, you know.
Yeah, but still, this is just what he says in ecstasy. In reality, he only keeps with very advanced devotees. If you read the pastime, he's not talking with and associating with people who are less advanced.
Principal associates and eternal associates. Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it is actually pretty selective.
You also said willing to have a very soft heart. Come on, you do something.
Yeah. I mean, he's hugging, you know, when he's dancing in ecstasy, then he's the most soft. Then he's hugging everybody, yeah.
But he's also, you know, we also need to, what is it called? The value of actually chanting.
You're going now, yeah? You think you can read a little bit?
Yeah, of course.
So you can read from this text these 4 types of devotees.
I have the chapter open, but I cannot see it.
You can try and find it. I just have to go for a second.
Okay. Furthermore, the neophyte or third class is one whose faith is not strong and who at the same time does not recognize the decision of the revealed scripture. This is, I guess, such a devotee would be like, can be changed by someone with strong arguments or by an opposite decision. Further classification of the neophyte devotee is made in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, these are four classes. Yeah, need of money, inquisitive, those who seek knowledge, and the distressed. An example of the neophyte class is Maharaj Durva. He was in need of his father's kingdom and therefore engaged himself in devotional service to the Lord. In the end, he was completely purified and declined to accept any material benediction from the Lord. Similarly, Gajendra was distressed and prayed to Krishna for protection, after which he became a pure devotee. Similarly, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sadhana, and Sanat Kumara were all in the category of wise, saintly persons, and they were all also attracted by devotional service. A similar thing happened to the assembly in the Naimisharanya forest headed by the sage Shaunaka. The sages were inquisitive and were always asking Shuddha Goswami about Krishna. Thus they achieved the association of a pure devotee and became pure devotees themselves. So that is the way of elevating oneself. In whatever condition one may be, if he is fortunate enough to associate with pure devotees, then he very quickly is elevated to the second class or first class platform. These 4 types of devotees have been described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and they have all been accepted as pious. The Without becoming pious, no one can come to devotional service. It is explained in Bhagavad Gita that only one who has continually executed pious activities and whose sinful directions in life have completely stopped can take to Krishna consciousness. Others cannot. The neophyte devotees are classified into 4 groups: the distressed, those in need of money, the inquisitive, and the wise, according to the gradations of their pious activities. Without pious activities, if a man is distressed condition, he becomes agnostic, a communist or something like that. Because he does not firmly believe in God, he thinks that he can adjust his distressed condition in totally disbelieving him. Lord Krishna, however, has explained in the Gita that out of these 4 types of neophytes, one is wise is very dear to him, because a wise man, if he's attached to Krishna, is not seeking an exchange for material benefits. A wise man who becomes attached to Krishna does not want any return from him either, in the form of his relieving his distress or in gaining money. This means that from the very beginning, his basic principle is his attachment to Krishna. He is more or less love. Furthermore, due to his wisdom and study of the Shastras, he can also understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that after many, many births, when one becomes actually wise, he surrenders unto Vasudeva, knowing perfectly well that Krishna, Vasudeva, is the origin and cause of all causes. Therefore, he sticks to the lotus feet of Krishna and gradually develops love for him. Although such a wise man is very dear to Krishna, others are also accepted as very magnanimous. Because even though they are distressed or in need of money, they come to Krishna for satisfaction. Thus they are accepted as liberal, broad-minded Mahatmas.
Exactly.
Are you back?
Yeah, you can read on, Prue.
Yeah, without
Nectar.
being elevated to the position of a jnani or a wise man, one cannot stick to the principle of worshipping the Supreme Personality of God. The less intelligent, or those whose intelligence has been taken away by the spell of Maya, are attached to different demigods on account of the influence of the modes of nature. The wise man is he who has thoroughly understood that he is spirit, soul, and not simply a body. Because he realizes that he is spirit and Krishna is the Supreme Spirit, he knows that his intimate relationship should be with Krishna, not with this body. The distressed and the man in want of money are in the material concept of life, because the distressed and need of money are both in relationship with this body. One who is inquisitive may be a little above the distressed and a man in need of money, but still he's on the platform, material platform. But the wise man who seeks Krishna knows perfectly well that he is spirit soul, or Brahman, and that Krishna is the Supreme Spirit soul, or Para-Brahman. He knows that the spirit soul, being subordinate and finite, should always dovetail himself with the infinite and Supreme Soul, Krishna. That is the relationship of the wise man with Krishna.
So where were we now? Yeah.
And where it can be concluded.
It can be concluded. Let's
In the
see.
chapter, it's a little over half.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I just lost it. See, it can be concluded. Yeah, it
Should
can
I
be.
read?
Yeah, you can. Oh, you also can read. That would be great.
Yeah, I can read. I learned. Okay.
You know how to read.
Can
That's
be
amazing.
concluded?
Yeah.
What?
I just joking.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Okay, great. It can be concluded that the person who is freed from the bodily concept of life is an eligible candidate for pure devotional service. It is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that after Brahman realization, when one is freed from material anxieties and can see every living entity on an equal level, he is eligible to enter into devotional service. As stated before, there are 3 kinds of happiness: material, spiritual, and devotional. Devotional service and the happiness due to its execution are not possible as long as one is materially affected. If someone has a desire for material enjoyment or for becoming one with the Supreme, these are both considered material concepts. Because the impersonalists cannot appreciate the spiritual happiness of association and the exchange of loving affairs with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, their ultimate goal is to become one with the Lord. This concept is simply an extension of the material idea. In the material world, everyone is trying to be the topmost headman among all his fellow men or neighbors. Either communally, socially, or nationally, everyone is competing to be greater than all others in the material concept of life. This greatness can be extended to the unlimited, so that one actually wants to become one with the greatest of all, the Supreme Lord. This is also a material concept, although maybe a little more advanced.
Okay, so any comments about that or questions?
This one is actually a little difficult because becoming one with the Supreme Lord is actually a material wish.
It doesn't need to be a material. It's one of the 5 forms of liberation.
Oh, yeah. So I was also thinking that this was some kind of actually the beginning of spiritual happiness, to be one with the Supreme.
Yeah, it is. It is. Of course, you can also call it material concept as Prabhupada is doing it.
Yeah, maybe he was referring somewhere deeper in the text because.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please, always.
Because it's basically like a relief from suffering, so it's not an actual spiritual desire, like it says. It's like more subtle sense gratification, so just to become one with the Lord.
It's subtle sense gratification. Yeah, that's the explanation actually. Yeah, that's why it said in the Gita also. I mean, Krishna says it's the source of all the happiness. Yeah, all the enjoyment actually. So actually, they say that it's the fall down kind of starch that one wants to merge, and then after that one goes into material enjoyment. For real. Yeah.
But spiritual practice is when you have attained something spiritual, you don't lose that, right? As a general sense.
Well, yeah, that's true. You don't lose it, but same time, yeah.
It almost seems like when you're saying it that they fall again, back to their level, as if they never went to the Brahman realization.
No. It's remembered. No, it's remembered, but still, one really doesn't have a higher taste before one serves Krishna. The kind of taste in Brahman is not that great. It seems like, because otherwise, why would they go to material sense gratification?
Because it actually is a form of mysticism, thinking that I'm actually transcendental to all this. I will never die. That it gives you shakti.
I guess there are different levels. There are apparently some accounts of people who actually managed to merge with Brahman. But I wouldn't bet on it.
Oh, I thought it's not really that complicated. It's just simply, being a little particle of observation in the ocean that's just, light and no suffering, just, pleasant light.
Yeah. I mean, but the problem is you can never interview one of these people who successfully merged with Brahman.
Well, they come down again, so you can actually ask.
No, but that's the point. If they actually successfully merge with Brahman, it's supposed that even they don't come back. I heard actually one such account.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, Jiva Goswami says one place.
They don't really come back, but they actually. I think we determined one day that one who reaches Brahman platform and then comes down to again start material activity is elevating actually to the material world to start his what is it called, this activity. Actually starting the next stage of activity.
Building a hospital and school, Prabhupada said.
It could be, but he's trying to think because he's not connected with Krishna, so he doesn't really know. But he's trying to I want to do something nice for someone else also, so it's actually a very good position.
Yeah, I mean it's called welfare activities. Yeah, but the thing. Sorry, Mariano, you had something to say there?
Yeah, I wanted to say that generally the people don't have the knowledge is there, but they are not aware of it, so they think that this is the supreme thing to do, to merge into Brahman, and because this is mostly what is being pitched around the world. So before I also thought that this is the best thing or like the supreme or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, once you actually come in contact with the devotees and you read the books and then you realize that this is not it, there is more than this. So then why you want to do this anymore? But yeah, generally people who are like spiritual or seeking or whatever, and it's easy to believe that. And you can have like glimpses of that as well, but yeah, it's not. Then you realize that it's not the supreme.
They may actually
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
seemingly seem to contradict a little bit, but actually they are meant to, well, one is the Brahman understanding is meant to, give the safety of the conditioned soul. That you will not die, don't worry about that, And you don't have to have existential dread. This kind of thing, it solves so many, issues that our atheism does not solve. Or something like material you does not solve, like thinking you are the body. It's very actually kind of miserable. But when you can also be a little sober and think, okay, if after death there's no more anything, then I'm not there to suffer anymore, so it doesn't really matter if I'm alive or not. So actually by just logical inference, you can also reach, conclusion that there's no need to worry.
Yeah.
You don't have to have existential dread.
No, that's true. There's a few atheists who are on that level. Yeah. You like to read on? Yeah.
But they will always preach about, welfare. They will always preach, build a hospital, have a good school.
Yeah.
This always say.
So that's good, because Krishna says, te prapnumanti mameva sarabhuta iterata. Those who do the welfare activities, although they are impersonalists, attracted to Brahman, they will come to me in the end. Yeah. That's very assuring. Yeah. Would you like to read on, Mariana?
Yeah.
Or if you had
Okay.
more.
However, the perfect spiritual concept of life is complete knowledge of one's constitutional position, in which one knows enough to dovetail himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. One must know that he is finite and that the Lord is infinite. Thus, it is not possible to actually become one with the Lord, even if one aspires for this. It is simply not possible. Therefore, anyone who has any desire or aspiration for satisfying his senses by becoming more and more important, either in the material sense or in the spiritual sense, cannot actually relish the really sweet taste of devotional service. Srila Rupa Goswami has therefore compared possessing this bhukti, material, and mukti, liberation, desires, with being influenced by the black art of a witch.
Oh God. Yeah.
In both cases, one is in trouble. Bhukti means material enjoyment, and mukti means to become freed from material anxiety and to become one with the Lord. These desires are compared to being haunted by ghosts and witches, because while these aspirations for material enjoyment or spiritual oneness with the Supreme remain, no one can relish the actual transcendental taste of devotional service. A pure devotee never cares for liberation. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed to Krishna, "My dear son of Nanda, I do not want any material happiness in the shape of many followers, nor immense opulence and wealth, nor any beautiful wife, nor do I want cessation from material existence. I may take many births one after another, but what I pray from you is that my devotion unto you may always remain unflinching." The attention of a pure devotee is so much attracted to glorification of the Lord's pastimes, name, qualities, forms, etc., that the devotee does not care for mukti. Sri Bilva Mangala Thakur has said, "If I am engaged in devotional service unto you, my dear Lord, then very easily can I perceive your presence everywhere. And as far as liberation is concerned, I think liberation stands at my door with folded hands, waiting to serve me."
Yeah. So this we have to dwell on this. Yeah. This Bill Bangala story is very nice, because he was extremely attracted to material life, and then when he blinded himself just to escape from his desires, and then he started just wandering as a mendicant, and then some or other Krishna was interacting with him while he was blind, and then he started writing even a whole book. I mean, some or other he managed to do, because he was already Brahmana, And then part of this, is this famous verse which was referred to here. It says, Mukti Mukilitanjali Sevate Asman. It says, Mukti Mukulitanjali. So she's just folding her hands, Mukti personified, ready to do me seva, ready to give service. So in that way, it means that the devotees, they don't need to worry. If they like to have liberation, it will be included. It's and then you have Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also is saying a pure devotee never cares for liberation. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed to Krishna, my dear son of God. You remember this? Is that from the Shikshashtaka?
Yeah, it's the last verse, I thought.
Is anybody remember Sanskrit from that?
No, sorry.
Ainanda Tanu, Ainanda Tanu Jakinkaram.
Yeah.
Ainanda Tanu Jakinkaram. Yeah.
Na Janam na Sundarim.
Yeah. Nadanam Najanam na Sundaram Kavitam va Jagadisha Kamaya. I don't want dana. I don't want wealth. Janma. I don't want this good birth. Sundari. I don't want a beautiful wife. Kavitam. I also don't want to be a great learned scholar or something. Yeah. Bhagavatam Haituki Bhakti Tvai. He says, I just want Mama Janmani Janmanishwari Bhagavatam. He says, birth after birth, I just want to be your servant. Yeah. So he says birth after birth, so it's not after liberation. That's pretty clear from that verse. He can stay here and just do service to Krishna. That's also very heroic. Yeah. So
we want to stay here in this material world.
Well, it is really individual because, one's mood in devotional service cannot be forced by popular opinion or something. Because, a group of high-class devotees, they did that or something else. It's like, then I also have to do it. No, it doesn't work like that. There are so many different devotees who have done so many different things really also. So it will have to be revealed, when we become spiritually mature, what we actually want to do in devotional life. This is my understanding. Yeah.
It's definitely so much exciting,
Does it make sense, Mariana?
Yeah. I'm just thinking that they say, sometimes we say that, okay, we just want to get out of this world because it's just suffering.
Yeah.
But then there are pure devotees who come here to help. But
It's
a small percentage.
Yeah, isn't it strange? It's like really a paradox. But, after all, at the end of the day, what are we doing here? We're reading, statements from devotees. And there are different devotees. Prahlad Maharaj is saying one thing. Prahlad Maharaj is just chilling. He's a king, over the demons. And he say, I can just hear about Krishna Chantamagri. I can just do deity worship. But here, Prahlad Maharaj, you're the leader of the demons. No, but he's okay. He doesn't stress out, right? Another person is like, oh, I don't want to be surrounded by these demons. I just want to escape. Please, Krishna, get me out of here. The house is burning, yeah? I don't need to know what I did before. I just want to get out of the house. So it's like devotees have very different moods. And we are experiencing, a little bit of their mood. It's just like if you read the book of an author, you will get into the life of the author. Somehow or other you can kind of live in the author's head for a moment. But at the end of the day, we are ourselves. So we are just. It's supposed to be inspiring us, all these different statements, but it doesn't mean that you have to subscribe 100% to all these steps, because also it's impossible because they are even contradictory sometimes.
I think the devotees are constantly trying to give blessings, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have different devotees. Yeah, you have different devotees. Some are very much after blessings. Some are not so much after blessings also.
They are the blessings. Really.
They are the blessings. Yes. Yeah. So Bilva Mangal Thakur says. He says this. This is in his book. What's the name of his book again? This book was actually found by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. It's a Krishna Karnamrita. Shri Krishna, the nectar of Krishna going into my ears. Yeah. So in that book he says, Mukti Mukili Tanjali Sevate Asman. And that means what does the Prabhupada translate here? He says, if I am engaged in devotional service unto you, my dear Lord, then very easily can I perceive your presence everywhere. And as far as liberation is concerned, I think liberation stands at my door, with folded hands waiting to serve me. To pure devotees, therefore, liberation and spiritual emancipation are not very important things. In this connection, in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 25, verse 36, Kapila Deva has advised his mother Devahuti as follows. My dear mother, my pure devotees are charmed by seeing my different forms, the beauty of my face, the structure of my body so enchanting. My laughing, my pastimes, and my glance appear to them so beautiful that their minds are always absorbed in thoughts of me, and their lives are dedicated fully unto me. Although such people do not desire any kind of liberation or any kind of material happiness, still I give them a place among my associates in the supreme abode. Isn't that amazing? He says, although such people do not desire any kind of liberation, or any kind of material. I mean, we have to.
Down the definitions here,
yeah, I mean, we have to admit that Krishna, he also gives material sense gratification to his devotees. He also does that. Have you ever been to a Sunday feast?
I think he's actually doing it so wonderfully. Like yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Marianne? Does it sound probable, or is there something more to this?
I don't know. I'm just. I'm a. How say? Kanishta.
This is humility. This is very good. You're showing a good humility.
True, because like the beginning of the process, or maybe continuing from past life or whatever. But just like in the beginning, like when you follow all the rules, because you talk about material enjoyment. So I was just thinking for many years that we're not supposed to enjoy anything.
Yeah.
And now I'm just. Yeah, I mean, okay, prasadam is allowed to enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely restricting ourselves. We definitely are doing that. It's kind of, I mean, it's about relationship. Today we had a class in the Oslo temple, and Prabhu Goran Narayan, he talked about relationships, all about relationships, and relationship between other people and also with Krishna. So in that relationship, Krishna can invite the devotee to a dinner, and that dinner will be good, because it's a relationship. But so it doesn't mean one is after, when it's not like, I mean, anyway, like if somebody invites you to dinner, do you go to a dinner just because you're promised good food? No, it's about the person one is going to dinner with, right? The food is always secondary, really, isn't it? Otherwise, if one goes to invitation for dinner just to eat, it's kind of gross, isn't it?
Yeah, but you go for dinner, right? You don't go for a walk just to talk or something like that.
Yeah, you go for dinner, but still, it's not that you come to dinner just because you're hungry like a beast. It's like you come because you like the person, or you want to have that association. If somebody who is like a bad person invite for dinner, you wouldn't like to go, right? Even though the dinner is fantastic. Yeah?
Actually, I would go, I think.
Yeah.
And is the host a devotee, or are they eating onions?
Who?
If the host, the one who is inviting.
Yeah, if they serve you onions. Yeah. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah. Then we don't go. Yeah. It's said in the scripture. Invitation. You have three kinds of invitation. One is in. I mean, you already know. It's according to the gunas. So, but if you have an invitation in the goodness or in the transcendence, that's the invitation we should accept. So if a devotee invites to something for dinner or for Harinam or temple or whatever, this is a good invitation because it's kind of divine invitation. But if you can say a person who is completely into eating junk food is inviting you to Burger King, then it's not in the mode of goodness, right? I think we all can agree about that.
It can, but the invitation can be, even though the food is not in the goodness, but the invitation can actually be completely transcendental.
Yeah, of course. So if it's the what did you say?
Where is that about the invitation?
I don't remember. I read it, but it's somewhere in the scriptures, because I read the. Yeah, I think it's not in any of our books like Bhagavatam, but it's in one of the. one of the Puranas or somewhere. Yeah, it said that you have these 3 kinds of invitation. Yeah.
So one that is at the proper place and time, one is at the improper place and time, and one is not with disregard, to the proper. I guess.
What about charity? I think.
Yeah, that's charity in the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, yeah. I mean, usually, you have a lot of social instructions are giving in our books, in our Vedic books,
Yeah.
Vaishnava books. It's a lot of social
like I
things.
said yesterday, I was reading the invitation, the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya invites Mahaprabhu to feed him lunch for
Ah,
a month.
yeah, yeah.
And then he accepts like 5 days or something like that, and then he goes and there is this Prabhu who insults him.
Yeah.
And then he falls sick, but then Mahaprabhu, forgave him. And
Yeah. That's why you asked. This person is called Amoga, but it's just called Amoga because Amoga Drik is a name of Vyasadev. Yeah. So it was Narad Muni. He gave that name to Vyasadev in the first canto. Yeah.
I'm saying it now because it was about invitation for lunch.
Yeah.
For Mahaprabhu.
Yeah. But it's a good example.
Give some exclamation to one of the Vaishnavas, I thought. Well, he said like something to one of them that something like you're just a beggar or something. I thought
that he eats too much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What kind of sannyasi you are eating?
Yeah.
This?
This man was a real rascal. He wanted to get Chaitanya, to catch him, So he prepared so many nice, wonderful dishes just to blast him when he was going to enjoy these dishes.
I said, no, I'm just a little boiled vegetable,
So I mean, the basic thing is, if we're going to practice this, transcendental life, then we really need to do that. So it's like we cannot really, if we are transcendental, and we are transcendental, okay. So somebody is attached to sense gratification. What does that have to do with me? Really, nothing. And even I can just view this person as a pure soul anyway. Because if you start looking at people and criticize them, and then we are really on thin ice. Yeah.
That depends.
Well, yeah, you are, because we are ourselves has issues, So, and even if it wouldn't have, it said when we criticize somebody else, we are taking their bad karma a little bit in our own system. So it's a transference of karma, So we are getting, contaminated actually by criticizing others. So in that way, yes, Marianne, yeah.
Because we meditate on them.
Yes,
their qualities,
you meditate,
so
and it's like you're in a subtle way when it's like when it's sucking out some bad qualities in the other person by meditating on them and criticize. And that person, when that person hear that criticism, it's painful in the heart, right? To hear somebody criticize our character or something. But what happens is actually that pain is purifying us. It said whenever we feel pain, mental or physical, we are purified of bad karma.
Yes.
So guess what? If we endure that and don't protest and hit back, then actually we feel we are purer than we were before.
Yes. Then we actually completely destroy, the reaction by
Yeah.
just tolerating.
Yeah. And the other person, guess what? The person is full with that reaction.
No,
So-
thanks.
Unless the person is very pure and chanting all the time like that.
It said devotees actually beyond, this effects of karma. It's said many times.
Yeah. If the devotee is advanced, then the person will just be like
Because we
transparent,
also that
completely.
The mind will
Yeah.
invent so many things that I will suffer reaction for this and that. Because this is not actually Krishna consciousness necessarily.
No. I mean, but this is just spoken, kind of how it works technically. But of course, if one
Without Krishna consciousness, maybe, but with Krishna consciousness, it's like
Yeah.
we should take the position
Yeah.
of creature.
But
right?
the point is,
Accept
but the point is, Krishna consciousness is also, rarely achieved, as we were reading yesterday. It's rarely achieved.
So we have a great responsibility. Don't we?
Yeah, I mean, but are we Krishna conscious? It's like if we're not, then we may have to go.
Come on now.
We may have to step carefully. We have to step carefully. I mean, it's humility. It said that the advanced devotees, they will not think that they are Krishna conscious. They will think, I'm not even a devotee.
Yeah. We will think we have a long way to go, to actually develop our Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
But still, we have the holy name.
Yeah.
everything we have right here.
Yeah, of course. So in that way, you don't need to go to the moon to find something. It's true. Everything is already here. Yeah.
So our business is really just, saying that if someone inquires, what is actually the highest goal in life? And we can say, it's just to worship Vasudeva.
Yes. So that's what Prabhupada is saying here. He says, this evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam gives assurance to the pure devotee of being elevated to association with the Supreme Personality of God. You're already elevated once you chant the whole name of Lord and hang with the devotees. Srila Rupa Goswami remarks in this connection that one who is actually attracted by the beauty of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna and his service, and whose heart by such attraction is always full with transcendental bliss, will naturally never aspire after the liberation which is so valuable to the impersonalists. So I think we're clear on that one. So a similar passage, yeah?
I think one is actually quite advanced if it's actually wanting liberation compared to, anyone else.
Yeah, you can give them that. But anyway, we really don't like the concept of liberation. It's said for devotees, the concept of liberation is like hellish. Yeah.
I love that, but this is like, we're actually reading from someone who's completely understood the Brahman realization. He will actually say that, Brahman realization is so great that, I love being eternal parting.
Yeah, but you remember what the Rupa Goswami said yesterday? He said that the happiness from devotional service, from Bhakti Yoga, can even impersonal liberation, attainment is not even atomic fraction of that.
Yeah, but to actually, we can say that on the street to people who don't know anything about either liberation or devotional service,
Yeah, what do you say, Mariana?
No, what's the point?
I mean, not trying to, undermine the value of actually being, eternal life, actually being a particle of spirit, contra a particle, material accommodation.
No, I mean, if you like to be that, then go ahead, yes, but...
This is the basis of spiritual life, is to understand that we are eternal, otherwise, why endeavor for anything, because we're dying now, it's all finished, let's enjoy and be merry,
Yeah, that's true, that's one of the aspects.
It's actually that what we're doing now has consequences in the future.
In the presentation, not here, but so there is this level of karma, and then there is karma kanda, and then it was sakarma, I think, and then there was one more level, like 4 levels. So most people are in the platform of karma, they just action and reaction and fruitive activities.
Yeah.
And then there is karma kanda. So they do some spiritualize some of their activities, but they go for the result.
Exactly,
there is sakarma, I think, or something like that. So they spiritualize a little more.
Yeah, it's karma yoga. Yeah. It's
so
karma yoga with desires. Yeah. It's karma yoga with desires. One is doing karma yoga, but one has material desires. So kama means desire, and sa means with. Sa karma yoga. Yeah. And then the next one is nishkama. Yeah, and nishkama means there is no material desire, so that will be equal to just doing it, for getting liberation. But it can also be for doing devotional service. Yeah.
And also, I think luckily Krishna just, I thought it was Krishna. He just declared that he himself was completely spiritual. He declared this just now. So, by he's saying that his devotees, they drink, by seeing his glances and seeing his form, they take so much pleasure, and at the same time, they don't have any material lust or hankering. So this is, completely spiritualizing Krishna, completely. So everything in connection with Krishna, in that sense, it's absolute.
Yeah, so that is said here, I just jumped to this place. It said, a similar passage appears in the 3rd canto, 25th chapter, verse 34, wherein Kapila Devi instructs his mother and says, my dear mother, devotees whose hearts are always filled in the service of my lotus feet and who are prepared to do anything for my satisfaction, especially those fortunate devotees who assemble together to understand my qualities. Guess what? We are trying to do that now. Pastimes and form, and thus glorify me congregationally and derive transcendental pleasure therefrom, never desire to become one with me. And what to speak of becoming one with me, even if they are offered a post like mine in my abode, or opulence like mine, or even personal association with me with similar bodily features, they refuse to accept, because they are satisfied simply by being engaged in my devotional service. End of quote. Yeah, and then in Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 9th chapter, verse 10, King Dhruva says, so this is now, Prabhupada is concluding with this statement. My dear Lord, the transcendental pleasure derived by meditation upon your lotus feet, which is enjoyed by the pure devotees, cannot be approached by the transcendental pleasure derived by the impersonalists through self-realization. So how can the fruitive workers, who at most can aspire to promotion to the higher heavenly planets, understand you? And how can they be described as enjoying a happiness similar to the devotees' happiness? Yeah, so with that we conclude the chapter, and tomorrow we'll head for chapter 4. Yeah.
Sorry, I can actually try and compare, because I think in a similar sense that a mother has affection for the child, it's the same as Yashoda, having affection for Krishna, even though it's completely different, but it's like the closest thing, I guess.
Well, that has been stated there, that it's the highest kind of material love you can have. Is the love for the mother and the child.
Actually, I think, who was writing this? Who was asking this? Was it Sanatana?
Asking what?
You just concluded the chapter, and there was like, you were quoting someone here.
Oh, in the end there, it was Dhruva.
Dhruva, right. How can they be, at least I heard it as, how can they understand, how can they become attracted to also, loving Krishna in this way? I guess as a picture,
Yeah, that's true. How can they? The point is, we are comparing things here, and through this comparison,
If people have no concept or no attraction with Krishna, we need to find something they are attracted to, right?
No, I mean, no, it's not really about that. This is about actually just showing that that devotees have gotten the highest thing. It's glorifying Krishna indirectly by saying that
we can be just satisfied with that.
Yeah, his devotional service is the highest attainment you can have. So this is a glorification of Krishna. Yeah. Marianne, you have some concluding words, maybe, or?
No, I was just thinking more about, you mentioned earlier about when we are criticized by others, it's better to not say anything, and this we get purified. And I just noticed, because this been happening a lot lately, when this happens, I tend to take things into my heart and then feel like I'm a bad person and things like that. So if you have any, advice or whatever, like how not to...
I think we can both agree on that.
I'm asking them.
We need to be a little careful, how much we tolerate.
Yeah. We have to tolerate a lot. That's for sure.
We don't have to, actually. We can also.
So also, like, when we hear things, like, not to take it as the truth, that this is who we are, just because people perceive it this way, but how to know, like, our, I guess, real nature, or when people are like, oh, you are like this, you are...
Well, one has to think about who is speaking, because people are speaking, according to gunas also. People who are not in...
Yes, we all have our natures, right?
I mean, people who are in lower modes, they tend to... Yeah. So people who are in lower modes, they tend to speak, things that are not upheld by the scriptures. Their judgments are not according to the scriptures; it's according to their own minds, right?
But according to the modes or not, at least I think among devotees, it seems like you were talking about devotees association.
Yeah, I'm talking about devotees actually.
Yeah, and I think in this sense, it's like we need to accept that we all have different natures.
Yeah, but it's not about nature. So devotees are also under the modes, You see, you have devotees in Tamagun, devotees in Rajagun, devotees in Sattvagun, and devotees who are really advanced, who actually have love for Krishna.
Actually, I think this whole concept of how one's devotional services can actually transcend the modes, at least externally, because one can be mediator, all the intoxicant, all this sinful thing, lowest guna kind of person, and still, his bhakti is like, you cannot even find the fault in his bhakti because he's so much absorbed in Krishna.
Well, give an example. Give an example of such a person.
Sorry. Like, I'm just asking a question, and then I kind of would like Mogadrik Prabhu to answer without interruption, if that's possible.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Because I get confused with all the back and forth.
Yeah, basically, you can ask the question, and you can say the name of the person you're asking. then we can be completely sure. Yeah. So basically, are you satisfied with the discussion of the question, or you want to ask again to get it?
No, basically, there's like, the thing is, like, when people say that or define you, like how to know or how to not be affected by that.
Yeah. Yeah. So when people are defining you, how to not be affected. Yes. So as far as I'm concerned, personally, I always take the humble route. I try to and just think that this is Krishna speaking through that person. Because also it doesn't hurt to be more humble, actually, always. So then you are cashing in, actually. It's good economy for ourselves to take the humble route, because it means we are getting free from some impurities in the heart if we simply just accept. If we start thinking this is not correct, I'm not bad, why does this person say this to me, then we may still have some impurities keeping in our heart. It's because of because of ego we really don't like to be criticized because of our ego. But actually it's good for our spiritual life to be criticized. I'll give you a verse, okay? I don't remember the Sanskrit, but there's a verse which says you should keep, just like soap is good for getting clean the body, you should keep near to yourself in your life somebody who can criticize you, because such a person is so valuable, because that person is better than soap, because soap is only purifying the body, but this person is purifying your heart, the person who criticizes you. This is a verse which says that.
But if they say something constructive, right? But if they just say, "Oh, you are bad," and without explaining why and what you do,
but this verse doesn't say anything about the criticism being constructive or not. Actually, it just says it's good to have somebody around you which can criticize you, because that's very valuable. You see, okay, I'll give another example. I think this will help very much. My example now. Say, for example, you're running Rema 1000. And you like to have really good customer service, and you know what, I heard about these companies, maybe not Rema but others, they are very happy to get customer feedback. It's really value of gold. So if one customer comes in and start criticizing Rema 1000 and say, you guys, you have a mess in your hyller, what you call hyller, in your shelves, the mess in your shelf, you're always misplacing the stuff, there was a wrong pricing, and the other day I was there, and then Rema 1000 is criticized, but Rema 1000 says, thank you so much for the criticism. Now we can prepare our customer service and make it better. So if a devotee thinks similarly, when somebody comes criticizing us, we should think that we are Rema 1000. And that, we can now start, becoming better. Yeah? Yeah.
Because it gives like, okay, this is wrong, this is, so it gives like a description of what's wrong. But if they don't tell you what's wrong and just say you are wrong without...
Yeah, but sometimes, okay, let me just take this also. Usually these are senior devotees, right? Who do that, right? I'm just asking, because if they are junior, you are allowed to kick their ass. You're allowed to actually get back at them if they're junior to you. And if they are rude, if somebody is rude, you're allowed to talk back to them if they're junior. But if they're senior, they usually actually have a concern that they actually want to help you, maybe in a way that we didn't expect.
That depends.
Because it's very valuable actually to be, because it's not so often we are. It may be very rare that somebody criticizes us. So when somebody finally do, it's like, whoa, this is very valuable information for us, right? Just like Rema 1000, very valuable information. If one person is starting criticizing, it's like, yeah, please go on. We're noting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know why? Because then Rema 1000 will prepare the service better, and then they will go beyond their customers. they will win over Kiwi and Meny and all the others if they really take this criticism very seriously. In the same way, if we take the criticism we get very seriously, we can go beyond the other devotees back to Krishna, because then we can be much better, you know, in our service, our behavior. Which other people, they never want to be criticized. They hate criticism. They're not advancing as quick. They're not advancing when they don't like any, you know, criticism. They think, who are you telling me? I don't like anybody telling me nothing. They're stagnating. They're stagnating. They're not moving as quick.
I mean, so is this the key then? Not, because for me, like, it happens that, for example, they say you are bad, but they don't say what exactly is that, like how to improve.
Yeah, you can ask them. You can ask them. Yeah. You can just tell. You can just ask. Can you please, you know, expound the concept, what you're talking about?
Yeah, I did that, and then they say I have no time for this.
Okay, so then you can just take that. Then you can take it as they just want to put you down for the time being. Just put you in place. Yeah. So, but you know, nothing comes from nothing. This is a, you know, this is like a Greek proverb. Nothing comes from nothing. So it means that there must have been something before they said you are bad. What happened before? This can be analyzed, you know, in our own life. What was happening before that? And I think with that, if we're a little bit Sherlock Holmes, we can come to find some connection, you know. Is it correct?
Yeah.
I think so. If we just do the work and we try and think through what happened. Why did that expression manifest? That somebody said to me, I am bad. There must be, you know, a whole story before that. Nothing just comes out of the blue for nothing. Yeah. So in that way, we can actually do what is called taking inventory.
And
yeah.
It's, I guess also a little. This is very smart, but it's also the risk, you know, of speculation. So I should not think too much about it.
The best thing is to ask them directly for clarification.
Yeah, but if they even say they don't have time to even answer.
No, but you know, we're not there. It's a part of the situation. If the person was really fed up with our behavior, they think we're unqualified, then it means, you know, they just keep us suffering for a little longer, so until we're humbled enough, and then they can come back, you know, and tell us. It's just like you have a pot which is very burned. You just put some water there, and you just put some soap, and you have to leave the pot and come back tomorrow, right? So in the same way, somebody may say something heavy to us, and we want to have an explanation, but they say just wait, and they come back after a few days when we have, you know, softened up a little bit. And then they can start, you know, continuing purifying us.
I think that's pretty good.
We should view, you know, we are in the world of God. God is not cruel. He actually tries to help us. If you think like that, we can go through it. I believe so.
I guess, but there's a transcendental humor also going on with all this fighting, you know, and the play is actually, I think, a little bit humorous also.
Yeah, this is also a good way of taking it. So we don't need to cry too much. We can take it also with a smile. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, but I know. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's also good to talk with others. You know, we can have friends, and it's not that we have to digest all this alone. So I very much appreciate you ask this question, because I mean, it's not only you have experienced. We all experience these things. So yeah. So was it okay? I mean, I know I cannot solve, you know, the problems of the world. But I'm just trying my best. Yeah.
There's something like I think you feel like you're trying to convey, like is this like a childish innocence, which is like, no, I don't have any hard feelings against you. But
yeah.
If you give me criticism, I will, you know, I don't want that. But you know, what can I do?
Yeah, it's like that. It's actually said that we have childish innocence as a spiritual person. Yeah. Yeah. It's very good.
But yeah. That's a playful attitude.
Yeah, it's playful. It's actually said, you know, Krishna, he's never doing any work as just a chore, you know, like I have to do this job. Everything he's doing is like a play. Yeah.
But I think it's also, there's a great taste also in this working, endeavoring quite a lot, you know. Just for instance, when it's charioteer for Arjuna, you know, it's actually endeavoring quite a lot, you know.
Yeah, but still he's playing, you know.
Yeah, it's transcendental enjoyment, but this is actually part of the rasa of the kshatriya. It's like very hanker a lot, you know, and it's very enjoyable.
Yeah. So in the same way, our discussion here was also enjoyable. So thank you so much. So we will conclude now because I really got to go, because otherwise they will lock me inside here. I'm afraid, you know, that they just go. without me getting the keys. So, so thank you. You see, I'm in the temple after the Sunday feast.
Thank you.
So, but thank you so much. And I have another program on Tuesday. Then we have our questions and answers. So, Marianne, if you also have some questions or some topics, then we have that, every Tuesday now. You can post them in our WhatsApp group or on our YouTube page. We have like a community label there. Yeah. So we'll discuss any topic or questions that comes up. We'll have that every Tuesday, and that will be from 6 to 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Super. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anyway, let's see. Go Ranga.